If you're a thrill seeker, then you need to hear this chilling tale of Halloween horror. It all started on a crisp, moonlit Halloween night. The air was filled with the scent of autumn leaves and the distant laughter of children trick-or-treating. But for us, the night was about to take a terrifying turn. Ready to be spooked? It was supposed to be just a thrill. A group of friends, looking for a good scare, decided to explore the old abandoned house on the outskirts of town. We had heard the rumors, the ghost stories, but we never believed them. We thought it would be fun, a way to get our adrenaline pumping. An old abandoned house, shrouded in mist, perfect for a Halloween scare. The house stood there, looming and ominous, as if it had been waiting for us. The windows were dark, and the paint was peeling off the walls. It looked like something straight out of a horror movie. The front door creaked open, and the adventure began. We stepped inside, our flashlights cutting through the darkness. The air was thick with dust, and the smell of decay was overwhelming. It felt like the house was alive, watching us, waiting for us to make a move. With every step, the floorboards groaned like they were whispering secrets. The sound echoed through the empty halls, sending chills down our spines. We tried to laugh it off, but there was an unease that we couldn't shake. Suddenly, a door slammed shut behind us. The sound was deafening, and we all jumped. We turned around, but there was no one there, just the darkness closing in on us. We laughed it off, just the wind, right? But deep down, we knew something was wrong. The house felt different, like it was trying to tell us something. We decided to keep going, hoping to find some answers. But then, objects started moving on their own. We watched in horror as a picture frame fell off the wall and a vase shattered on the floor. It was like the house was alive, and it didn't want us there. A chair slid across the room as if pushed by an invisible hand. We were frozen in place, too scared to move. The air grew colder, and we could see our breath in the dim light. And eerie whispers echoed through the hallways. We couldn't make out the words, but it sounded like someone was trying to communicate with us. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, and we knew we had to get out of there. Our breath turned to mist as a chilling cold draft swept through. It felt like the house was breathing, like it was alive. We huddled together, trying to stay warm, but the cold seemed to seep into our bones. The atmosphere grew even more sinister with each passing second. The walls seemed to close in on us, and the darkness felt suffocating. We could hear the sound of footsteps, but there was no one there. It was like the house was playing tricks on us, trying to drive us mad. And then we saw it. A shadowy figure at the end of the hall. It was barely visible, but we could see its eyes glowing in the darkness. It felt like it was watching us, waiting for us to make a move. A ghostly figure at the end of the hall. It was tall and thin with long flowing hair. It looked like a woman, but there was something off about her. She seemed to float above the ground, and her eyes were empty, soulless. It glided towards us, moving silently through the air. We could feel the temperature drop even further, and the air grew thick with tension. We wanted to run, but our legs felt like they were made of lead, sending shivers down our spines. We were paralyzed with fear, unable to move or speak. The figure came closer and closer, and we could see its face twisted in a grotesque smile. We ran, hearts pounding, trying to escape. We didn't know where we were going, but we knew we had to get out of there. The house seemed to come alive, with doors slamming and windows rattling. It felt like the walls were closing in on us, and we could hear the figure's laughter echoing through the halls. But every door we tried was locked. We were trapped. Panic set in, and we started to scream for help, but there was no one there to hear us. The house had us in its grip, and it wasn't going to let us go. And that's when we found it. An old journal hidden in a dusty corner. The pages were yellowed with age, and the writing was barely legible. But we could make out enough to understand that the house had a dark history. an old journal revealing the dark secrets of the house's past. Turns out the house had once belonged to a family who had mysteriously disappeared. The journal spoke of strange occurrences, of voices in the night, and objects moving on their own. It seemed that the house was haunted by the spirits of the family, trapped there for eternity. Turns out, we weren't the first ones to be trapped here. The journal mentioned other visitors, people who had come to the house seeking thrills, just like us. They had never been seen again. It was as if the house had swallowed them whole. We weren't the first ones to be trapped here, and we might not be the last. The journal ended with a warning, a plea for anyone who found it to leave the house immediately. But it was too late for us. The doors were locked, and the windows were barred. We were trapped, just like the others. And we might not be the last. The house had a way of drawing people in, of luring them with the promise of adventure and excitement. But once you were inside, there was no escape. The spirits of the past would make sure of that. So next time you think about exploring a haunted house on Halloween, beware. The thrill might not be worth the risk. You never know what secrets the house might be hiding, or what spirits might be waiting for you. So, if you ever find yourself standing in front of an old, abandoned house, think twice before you step inside. It might be the last thing you ever do.